Hi, this is Sive Morten with the daily update on EuroFX. I post my exclusive market overviews with the key political and economical events, charts and important levels on the ForexPeaceArmy.com forums weekly. This short video is a response to rapidly changing situation on the currency markets and should help you to stay on top of the game and be profitable. I suggest you to visit the ForexPeaceArmy.com forum and read my analysis for the week before watching this daily video. Greetings everybody, guys. Today finally we will take a look at the euro currency, and in general, guys, all that we will talk today is mostly will be some sort of the assumptions, thoughts on the possible development situation on the euro currency, because previously we have said already that until the end of the July hardly market will show some significant and directional action. Yes, we could see some large action, large motions in the short-term perspective on the daily chart, but that will be probably some sort of the calling in terms of the big picture, in terms of the monthly and weekly charts, because as we said, currently the Fed rules over the markets, and the first part of driving factors we've got already. That is important data on the United States economy. I mean, the non-farm payrolls release some data we will get in the coming week in the inflation, but the driving factor, the second driving factor, is the reaction of the Fed. The Fed should point the direction, should prompt give some hints on the possible direction. Of course, all investors will monitor over thoughts of the Fed, of the assessment current data, and thoughts on the hawkish policy, the possible rate hiking, because investors haven't got that information from recent Fed minutes of the June statement. That's why there's really big hope on the clarification on the next FOMC meeting on July, and the speech in meeting in the Jackson Hole in August. That will be two major events that all investors will keep a close eye on. That's why until this expectation will hold, hardly investors will put significant money to drive the markets in any direction significantly. They will be just expect and wait for that solution. That's why all of that we say today about the current situation on the euro currency, you should treat as just assumptions and thoughts, some sort of the scenarios that could appear, but situation could change significantly, mostly because on the reasons that I have just talked to you. So on the daily chart of the euro currency, we see that market has shown downward action on recent week. Here we've got this action, and that was mostly due investors' disappointment by June minutes of the Fed. This was move up. But from the technical picture, what we have, in fact, we see that market has tested the monthly pivot point, the July pivot point, has failed to pass through it and return right back down. So that keeps the bearish sentiment on the monthly chart, on the monthly pivot point. Also, guys, here we see 2 days bearish stop grabber pattern. So that was even the first stop grabbers. You can see it, this market tested MACD predictor and closed below it. But here we have more significant pattern. So in general, you know that I do not like such sort of grabbers very much, because they are weaker than the grabbers in the direction of the previous thrust. But here we have another one by this candle. This points on possible downward continuation, taking out of these lows, and reaching the nearest target will be probably the monthly pivot support one that stands at 135.64. I do not think that market will stop here totally, but That just the target that is following by the common sense when you have some sort of the bearish engulfing. The target of this pattern usually equals to the length of the bars. So if you count the length of the bars to the downside, you will get approximately the monthly pivot support 1. Also guys, the minimum target of the stop grabber suggests the taking out of these lows, and that also point on the same area. Finally, from the pivot point perspective, from the pivot point of view, we could say that when the market fails to pass through the pivot point, it usually retraces right down to the pivot support one. But what will happen next is difficult to say right now. If we will follow the suggestion that Fed will give finally the hint on the possible rate hiking, and it will confirm, relatively confirm, that it really intends to hike rate a bit earlier than it was suggested initially, I can't exclude that market will move lower. And from that point of view, we still can get the butterfly pattern here. Okay, the target of this butterfly again will stand right at the yearly pivot point. That's really possible. At least I do not want to abandon this chance totally, because if we'll take a look at our former chance of the butterfly, the reason why this butterfly has failed, I'm now speaking only on technical issues, stands with this A, B, C bottom pattern. The D point of this A, B, C, D pattern was slightly higher than this top. That has led to taking out of this top, but you can see that the market has turned down fast. And the CD leg of this ABCD pattern much slower than AB. And that points that here market really could turn to the reversal. At least right now, the overall picture in the short-term perspective looks bearish. On the 4-hour time frame chart, we could track a couple of moments. First of all, we should keep an eye on this ABC top pattern, D, that has the target 135.26 area. Okay. Here, guys, you can see that market also has moved below the weekly pivot point as well. That also confirms the bearish sentiment. And you can see that here market, in fact, has failed to move higher and turn to the downside. Taking into consideration as these patterns, as market action around the pivot points, we could say that the chances on the downward action right now is greater than turning to the upside. Although theoretically you could suggest the appearing of the butterfly here as well, right? So that could be the left wing. If market will hold above this bottom, here could become the right wing, and market could show a move to the upside. But due to the reasons that we have just discussed, the chances on the downward continuation now seems a bit greater than turning to the upside on the euro currency. Well, if this really happened, then we could get this ABCD pattern to the downside. From the technical point of view, there is significant point that we should keep an eye on. That is an invalidation point for the short-term bearish setup. Because if market will take out of this high, it will erase this as stop grabbers at this bullish engulfing will move, bearish engulfing. Market will move above the pivot points. In this case, the chance on appearing of this butterfly really will become greater. That will be one of the reasons why we should keep an eye on this point. Until this top is valid and market stands below it, the chance on the downward action is greater. So that's the short-term setup on the euro currency. Unfortunately, guys, except the patterns that we have just talked about, I mean this ABCD pattern, we do not have anything to trade on, at least on the daily and on the hourly time frame chart. It's probably a bit too early to possess ourselves on this butterfly. Particularly speaking, the most interest from this butterfly stands right here as the chance to take the long position with the significant retracement. Well, maybe you could try to trade the stop grabbers on the bearish side of the market with the stops above these highs, but in current situation I think that risk reward ratio will be approximately 1-to-1. So maybe till the end of the current session we will get some more clarity from the euro currency, but right now, since market stands at an expectation, it's very difficult to find some patterns that could be traded on the daily time frame charts. On the intraday charts, yes, maybe we will get something, but here at the first glance the pictures looks nice. So these butterflies looks pretty, stop grabbers and so on, but in reality the situation is really stands tricky. So let's continue to watch what will happen here. But as we will stand closer to end of the July, the better opportunities will be formed, I suspect, on the euro currency, since market will stand on at the eve of the Fed statement. That will be really very significant moment.